Hello everyone, welcome to Super Coaching UPSC by Textbook. Have you ever wondered that a river, its course, a course of a river can be changed by the wildlife around it? Yes, a river can also be changed, a river course can also be changed by the wildlife around it. Wolves in a region in Yellowstone National Park of USA have changed the course of a river. They have radically altered the ecosystem of a region. Today, myself Venkatesh, as I am explaining about a case study of ecological restoration in Yellowstone National Park, how there is so much connectivity with respect to the wildlife, the ecosystem linkages and all. Through a story, I am coming in front of you to explain all these kind of things. I think before I start about this, the first thing I would like you to know, where is Yellowstone National Park? Where is Yellowstone National Park? Anyone of you? Can you mention it in the comment section? The ones who are watching it live. Can you tell me where is Yellowstone National Park? Come on. Can you? Let me see the comments. No? Okay. Yellowstone National Park, it is in USA. Very prominent national park in USA. Yellowstone National Park. You know, it is in USA. It is one of the first national park of the world. You know, this national park is known for rich diversity. You have wonderful wildlife, the birds, the butterflies, right? In fact, it would be the region which is regarded as a nature's paradise. Definitely, it is one of the wonderful region in that one, known for rich biodiversity, all these kind of things. And that region, because of one major event, has actually turned into like this. A region which is, full of diversity, as you can see in this picture, because of one negative step, one major blunder, one major ecological blunder, it turned into a almost like a savanna or a desert landscape. A landscape, such a beautiful one, turned like this. What do you think that is the reason for such kind of things? Anyone? Can you tell me what is the reason? Why do you think that reason that has happened? There is a process which we call it as trophical cascade. You have a concept called keystone species, which you will study in environment. What is that is, they have killed all the wolves of a region. What happened is, the major blunder, ecological blunder they have done is, they have killed all the wolves in 1920s in the Yellowstone National Park. The event was so drastic that they have identified even a small cub, right? Small cub of a wolf, and tried to literally make the number 0 in and around the Yellowstone National Park. Reason? Simple. They wanted to, bring back certain kind of human societies which were native to this region, and there were some kind of cattle, and cattle has a direct threat with the wolves. So to have a flourishing cattle, they have decided to kill all the wolves. Who is that great person, right? We don't know, but definitely he has come up with that drastic idea to bring back the communities. You all see in our country, whenever you wanted to bring back certain communities, we will always try to make harmony with respect to the nature. How can you ignore such kind of basic blunder? So they have ignored this basic blunder of killing all the wolves in a region, and because of that, what happened? There was a big trophical cascade. The first thing which has happened was the elk deer, the deers out there or the elk population This is what we will say the elk population. They have radically increased their number. अब हम राजा हैं. इनका कहना है अब हम राजा हैं. It's almost like we are the kings now. Why? Because my head, my predator, I'm the prey of wolves. My predator is nowhere available now. Now they are the kings of the ecosystem here. What did they do? Their population has increased. As their population has increased, they started eating away every grass. The thing was so comedy, it has so much amount of comical thing that if you have taken the blood samples of the elk deer population there, and if you have observed their sugar levels like a diabetes patient in India, even for them, the elk population, the elks also will be having decent amount of diabetes. Reason is very simple. Why? They are nowhere running now. They started settling at a place where they are living because they are nowhere to go, because they need not run in the worry of wolves. So what happened over a period of time? They started living there. They started eating every inch of a grass. Wherever a tiny inch of grass is there, they started eating it. Imagine if they started eating the entire grass. If they start eating the entire grass, what would happen? What would happen over a period of time? The pollination is impacted. The grasses is reduced now. The landscape has reduced its diversity. What happens because of that? The wind speed has increased. As the wind speed has increased, the pollination has impacted. As pollination has impacted, you have found that the region slowly lost all its basic thing. Because of the loss of the things, you can see here, the deers and the elks are eating away everything. These are the natural, real pictures taken there, right? Look at how is the landscape which was turned into. Then, all these things have impacted the pollination and all. Why do you think that UPSC always keeps on asking questions like this? Questions on butterflies, pollination, all those kind of things. You see, due to some reasons, if there is a huge fall in the population of a species of butterflies, what could be its consequences? Because of these kind of ecosystem linkages, right? Pollination of some plants could be adversely affected. Yes. There could be drastic increase in the fungal infections of some cultivated plants. Could be drastic. Yes. It could lead to a fall in the population of some species of wasps, spiders and birds. Definitely all of them are right. So pollination is very, very important. You see here what happened. What is the order? What is the order? You have killed the wolves. Because of that, the deer population has increased. What did the deer do? They have started eating all the grasses. Once they started eating away the entire grass, the wind speed has increased because there are no grasses which are there. A combination of all these factors have impacted the pollination, and if pollination is reduced, the region would be very, very susceptible to one kind of zoonotic disease like, say, something like corona, right? So what happened here? I think you all may study in the ecological systems, biodiversity, one of the diversity called genetic diversity. If there is no genetic diversity in a region, what would happen? If there are similar genes, one kind of an abnormal event like corona or COVID-19 or whatever you call, any kind of zoonotic disease in the wild, which are quite popular, it can wipe out the entire species. If you have variety of genes, variety of species, then the probability of certain species able to die and certain species able to withstand such kind of worst events and coming back would be higher. So that's what is the linkage. If pollination is lost, that is having the impact. Once pollination is lost, what happened? The birds' migration has affected. The birds' migration has completely lost. The birds did not enter. The butterflies have migrated. They left behind. As they start left behind, even the water ecosystem has collapsed. Now you see the region, the surrounding regions and all, what happened? The surrounding landscape has turned into a barren landscape. A barren landscape has increased the erosion of a river, has increased the erosion of the landscape because of there is no vegetation which is blocking it. The erosion is increasing. Because of that, the river caught more sediments, or rather, right word, river received more sediments. When there are more sediments, what would happen? When there are more sediments, what would happen? The rivers will have less capacity to follow the, less capacity to have water. It will be having more sediments rather than the water. Now it started spreading the banks. As it started spreading banks, it started eroding the banks of the regions. When it started eroding, when it started flooding, and it is increasing the erosion, a combination of all these factors have affected the region there. The river has changed its courses, and also the aquatic life has been halted. I think you all might have seen this kind of thing as part of childhood. Beavers. These are regarded as, ecosystem engineers. What do, these beavers? They collect the, the figs, the small branches of a tree and all, and they dump across in the water body, creating a minor dam. I think we can consider this as a small dam. Once dam is preserved, slowly there would be some kind of aquatic life which would be developed here along the minor dam created by a beaver. All these things were negatively affected because the river is now increasing its speed, erosion is quite high, and because of all these things, the river is now increased its pace, and these dams have been natural dams created by beavers have been collapsed. Because of that, the aquatic life also has been impacted. All these kind of things have led to the diversity of the variations of the river there, and that has encroached. And because of that, the tourism was also negatively affected there, because this was a limelight of tourism. The water encroachment, the water which will be percolating as part of the groundwater, that has changed. All these things were changed because of one mistake. What is the mistake? The restoration of the killing of the wolves. It happened in 1920s. The same thing has been continued for so many years. Ecologists, the scientists, the geographer planners, the government, they were so worried about everything. They started digging back the history of this region and all. Finally, their brain started working. Akal aaya tha unko, right? That's what you can say. Akal aaya tha unko in 95. Finally, they have become some understanding. They got it again. They decided that let us restore the wolves. Let us reintroduce the wolves which are part of the natural region here. Once the reintroduced are there, I think you can all see this meme, no? Ab maza aayega bidu, right? Something like that. So now you find the real story. What happened with respect to the reintroduction of the wolves? The original masters are back. Once they are back, they started killing the deers. The deers are being killed. Why? They are the prey-predator relationship. Now, the deers, they have to avoid certain places because you have the wolves, they are predators. Once you have the predators, you need to avoid certain parts of the park. Definitely, as the deers are moving, they are trying to observe where they need to stay, where they need to avoid certain things. As they started avoiding certain places, that is where slowly the area started regenerating. There are certain species like aspen willow. I think you can see this picture. 97, look at this picture. 2001, look out the density, and now you look out the density. Slowly you can see an abnormal decent increase in the thickness of the vegetation and all. There were some kind of aspen willow, some natural vegetation that has increased, and it is able to regenerate in 4 to 6 years. Aspen willow, natural vegetation. Though slowly what happened? The natural vegetation was, original natural vegetation was restored. If this natural vegetation has restored, naturally what happened? You have found that the birds started migrating, the butterflies started coming back, the grasses have increased, the pollination started having an effect. Now the original ecosystem is bringing back. Now as the deers have been killed, the scavengers, the birds, all these are coming back. All these things have such an impact that the entire entire flow chart I was telling to you until now, everything is restored. As it is restored, you have seen that the beavers, they started collecting the wood because you have now the natural vegetation, the aspen and all. They are having enough thing. They started creating the dams. The aquatic life is slowly starting increasing again. And over a period of time, the river erosion is also reduced and the river is coming back to the branches. And we can all say that it is the wolf which has a linkage with respect to rivers. Now, will you agree that whether rivers are changing the course of a rivers are very, very linked with respect to the forest? Why do you say that forest is the mother of river? Forest, the mother of a river. A river ecosystem is very, very linked with its forest. Anything happens in the forest, the river will bear the burden, right? So you can see the linkages. The aspen willow wood, the wolves, the elk, the beavers, all these are very, very interlinked. So the aspen, the willow and all these kind of vegetation are closely linked with this kind of chain. With that, you have to remember that how is the forest is regarded as the mother of the forest is the mother of river, how it is very, very important. Keeping this into considerations, now you should have understood the linkages of the ecosystem, the broad things. This is what the story of Yellowstone National Park, a case study of ecological restoration. And out of this, what have you learned? This is what you mean by keystone species. There is always one stone species which is very, 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 very key in a certain region. The lack of availability of certain species, like why do you think that India has Project Tiger? Why do you think India has Project Elephant? It is all because of they have a key role in the ecosystem. Keystone species which are located at the trophic level, at the higher trophic level, and their lack of numbers will have a gigantic impact on the ecosystem linkages. This is what we'll call it as trophical cascade. Trophic cascade, that is gigantic impact of certain species in the linkages of keystone. Why do you think that as a kid we have studied about lion is regarded as the king of the jungle? Why would you study about that? It is all to bring you that ideas of keystone species. I think you study, next time you watch Lion King movie, look at the languages, what are they trying to present it. You will understand the role of each and every animal there, especially the keystone species. So that is how the learning of keystone species, usually keystone species are the top of the predator, top of the food chain, not necessarily. Even insects in a certain region can be a keystone species. Butterflies can be a keystone species. It's all about which kind of ecosystem level are you identifying, right? Similarly, corals, where keystone species are an important keystone species in the ocean, they are very, very important. So that is the thing. So please understand, why do you think there is always so much talk about biodiversity? Imagine this happening on a global scale. Imagine the negative effects. Why do you think that you have a concept called biodiversity hotspot? Hotspot means what? Hotspot means is a place where you will find all the hotspot is the one where there is so much amount of biodiversity loss has already occurred, but whatever is left over, you have enough amount of biodiversity. We need to take care of that. The human activities has to be observed. In India, one such thing is Western Ghats, Himalayas. We need to take care of the ecosystem there, because any negative impact of the wildlife there, it can have a cascading impact across our lives. That is the learnings you need to have it from this. Did you like this video? All of you? Did you like this video? Did you? Right? So this is about this topic. I hope you have understood it. And one additional trivia for you. You know, once this keystone wolves started restoring in 95, by 2010, the tourism in that region has significantly increased. People have started increasing the tourism, the livelihood opportunities of the people, in terms of restaurants, hotels, lodges, in terms of, travel, cabs, photography, so many extracurricular activities have increased, which has increased the overall quality of life of so many people. The economy of a region has impacted. The wolves have changed the course of a river. The wolves are very important with respect to restoring the ecology of a region, restoring the groundwater levels of a region, water supply in the region, and also the tourism and the economic activity of a region. Look at the linkages. That is the story of this, right? An additional trivia for you. This Yellowstone National Park, it is also very, very important for so many things. It is a hotspot, volcanic hotspot. That is one thing. Another important trivia is it is part of the bacterial discovery at the Yellowstone National Park, which is the key for PCR testing, the way of testing of COVID-19, right? You do find that it is an earliest intact archaeological deposits in the park were discovered. That the oldest ones. You will study about that. It is a center of hydrothermal vents because of the hotspot. Extraordinary collection of hot springs, mud plots, fumaroles, geysers, travertine terraces, all those kind of volcanic things which we associate. What we are trying to tell you is Yellowstone National Park has rich diversity, rich history, and a very, very important center for even so much biological testing. All these things is a key important thing of Yellowstone, is a very important from that angle. And that is the place where certain changes have made because of killing, the forced killing of wolves, how there was a negative impact and how we are trying to bring back that culture again. This is what the story of Yellowstone National Park, a case study for ecological restoration. Hope you all have loved this video, have understood the multiple linkages, how UPSC frames questions based on certain topics. I hope now you got a fair idea. This is about the Yellowstone National Park. If you want the PDF file, you can get into my Telegram channel. And if you have any doubts about this story and all, please mention in the comment section. I'm happy to help you. Hope you have understood, learned, loved this topic. For more such information, more such kind of things, if you want, any further video you want, drop it in the comment section. I'm happy to create a video on that. Right then, all of you. Thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a nice time. Happy learnings. Thank you.